Hello and welcome to the 5-2 Diet Podcast. We're here to help you lose weight and feel great with intermittent fasting. I'm Kate Harrison from the 5-2dietbook.com. I lost 31 pounds, that's 14 kilograms on this way of life, and I've written 4 books about it. I run one of the biggest 5-2 groups on the web, and I still fast every single week. Fasting is easy, flexible and free. This podcast will help you 5-2. Hello and welcome to the first podcast of 2018. I know it's been a little while, but stay tuned for some very exciting news about this podcast. One of the reasons it's been a little while is I've been really busy writing my latest book, The Dirty Diet, Ditch the Guilt, Love Your Food. And this is a combination of all the things I've learned writing about the 5-2 diet and also talking to lots and lots of people who succeeded. It also brings in some really exciting new information about gut science. So I'll be looking at how your microbiome, that is the collection of microbes that coexist with us at various points in our body, influence everything from our weight to our mental health to our chances of developing various medical conditions. I've been working with a fantastic dietitian down here in Brighton who, like me, is a real fan of coffee and also believes that cheese is a superfood. That's my kind of news. The Dirty Diet is also going to include intermittent fasting, so the approach that has proved so successful all around the world in the 5-2 diet, and which I've been covering, as you know, in this podcast. What's different about the new book is that I'm also going to be giving a lot more advice on how to eat on non-fasting days, or as I call them in the Dirty Diet, plenty days. I know from the 5-2 Facebook group, which now has over 60,000 members all around the world, that members can find it really straightforward to plan meals for the fasting days, but when they have a bit more freedom on the non-fasting days, it's sometimes a struggle, especially to know exactly what to eat. That's one of the main messages and issues that I'm going to be putting across in the Dirty Diet. The bottom line is eat widely, eat diversely. That means enjoying all the things that you might have thought aren't suitable on a diet, including bread, dairy products, other grains, and even potatoes, wine, chocolate, and, as I've already mentioned, cheese. I've been working with some brilliant guinea pigs who agreed to try out the Dirty Diet for a month, and there've been some outstanding results. Not just in weight loss, though people have seen losses of up to 15 pounds, that's about 7 kilograms in just 4 weeks, but also things like improved gut health and digestion, sleeping better, healthier skin, and improved mood. In the book, I've also been working on 50 fantastic recipes, and those are suitable for both vegetarians and omnivores, so it really is a little of what you fancy does you good. It's also the reason I've decided to make an exciting change to this podcast. So we're going to keep going with all the great ideas about reaching and staying a healthy weight, including all the interviews with people who've done it and people who have great ideas around your health. But we're also going to have a new name for the podcast and a much wider remit, because I've realised how damaging guilt and worry can be to our overall health, especially if we fall off the wagon of certain strict regimes or try to follow principles that expect us to be perfect all the time. In many cases, those strict regimes aren't supported by the science and they're almost impossible to stick to. So the new podcast is going to be talking about all the delicious foods that I believe can really make you feel great, and they're foods that happen to taste amazing. We're going to be looking at things like psychology of habit forming and strategies that allow you to make little changes to your life without feeling awful or guilty if you occasionally fall off the wagon. We're going to be looking at things like positive mental attitude, tactics to raise your mood, self-acceptance, and all those ideas that I've found really help to make life better, easier, and happier. The podcast, as it's going to be, and also what we've been doing over the last 20 episodes or so, is about living with a positive attitude, but also knowing that we can't be perfect 100% of the time. It's practical, and it's going to have loads of interviews with people who live this way. So, for example, if you've never wanted to try a triathlon, but you still want to feel full of energy, the new podcast will look into that. If you like to have your cake and eat it and still feel fantastic in your clothes, lower your chances of developing chronic disease, this podcast will also be for you. And the title for the new podcast, Live Happy, Eat Dirty, Health and Diet Ideas for Real People. Live Happy, we want to find strategies and tactics to make us feel good about our lives. An outlook that accepts that we are human and sometimes we fall off the wagon and sometimes we do things which aren't perfect for our health but which we enjoy. We've got to include forgiveness in that picture. Eat Dirty, the second half of the podcast title, because the whole theme of the dirty diet is knowing that we can eat anything, that nothing should be banned, but that we should aim for a balanced life. And it's also accepting that we're beginning to understand why germs, as we used to call them, exist alongside us and are actually really important for us in terms of maintaining and even improving our health. And again, that dirty idea, the idea that we cannot live a clean life all the time. It's one of the reasons I don't like clean eating as a concept, because it suggests that enjoying pleasurable things goes against the grain and shouldn't be allowed. That is the idea. It's about living happy, eating dirty, health and diet ideas for real people. So we've got some fantastic episodes coming up, including why cheese is a superfood, that's if superfoods even exist, how carbs can help keep you human, eat more germs, why dirt keeps you alive, and house training for humans, the science of good habits. I'm working on those episodes right now, but in the meantime, if you're looking for some immediate 2018 inspiration, my annual free guide to setting exciting goals so you can have your best year is available to download now by signing up for my newsletter, and that's at kate-harrison.com. It's a really easy but fun 5-stage process to help you work out what you want over the next 12 months and then how to get it. In fact, you can start it at any time of year, whether you're reading this in January or June. It still works, and I find it a really fun and reflective thing to do each year. The new podcast will kick off in March with loads of exciting interviews with the dietitian I've been working with, the wonderful Helen Phadnis, with sourdough bread bakers, with scientists studying gut health, and my guinea pigs in the dirty diet, and many more. So to make sure you don't miss an episode, please subscribe via iTunes or your favourite podcast provider. You can also go to the dirtydiet.com website, that's thedirty-diet.com, and sign up for free tools and a quick guide to living and eating dirty. The book itself is coming out on March the 22nd. I hope that you're going to really enjoy this slightly wider scope, which is still full of practical, fun and science-based strategies, really exciting interviews and ideas for living a fantastic life. So, see you next time. For many more free tips, case studies, recipes and lots of information, visit the 5-2dietbook.com. Follow me on Twitter at the52diet or download free samples of the books online at Amazon. Thanks for listening.